Okay, so Alvy, nice for having you here.
Thank you.
How was Pixar founded? We know that you were one of the founders, so how were the origins?
How did Pixar start? Is that what you're asking? Well, I'm going to talk about that in an hour. I could just say, come listen to me talk.
Yes.
But a very short answer is that I was at Lucasfilm. I had there was a computer graphics division at Lucasfilm, and I was head of it, and Ed was in charge of all the computer divisions. And we, for a reason I'll go into detail later, we suddenly realized that there was not a future for us at Lucasfilm. So I said, Ed, we're going to get fired. Let's start a company. And we bought books on how to start companies and did it. That's the story. And so he and I are the co-founders of Pixar.
Mm-hmm. So could you imagine then what it would become?
No, you know what? We were just going to be. Our goal was to be the first people to make a complete computer graphics movie. The first, and we were going to do that regardless. And it just turned out to be Pixar.
Now this year, Pixar is celebrating his
25th
anniversary.
That's right.
So, what is your opinion of the evolution over this
Oh, it's
period of time?
incredibly exciting. I'm a very proud papa.
And nowadays, you are more focused, I think, on the teaching part. I read that you are writing a book.
I am writing a book. I'm basically a retired gentleman of leisure these days. I have a new wife. She's very intelligent and speaks around the world a lot, so I'm her entourage. Usually, at Mundos digitales, she's my entourage. But I am writing a book, and I give a lot of talks, and I do research of things that I like. So
I have read that the book is for people of other fields, different of.
Oh, the book I'm writing, which, by the way, is in its beginning stages. It's I don't know when it'll be done even, or if it will be done, but it's aimed at the general reader. And the basic idea is that we are now surrounded by pixels everywhere. Movies, computers, cell phones, games, everything is pixels. What's a pixel? When I ask people, they don't know. And I say things like, do you know how a picture comes out of the bits of a computer memory and ends up on your screen? Everybody, no idea. And it seemed to me that that was wrong. If something is so fundamental to the modern experience, why don't most of us know how it works, or at least have some vague understanding of how it works? So the goal of my book is to teach the ordinary person just some simple facts about how it works. Very, very gentle tutorial, but even then I'm going to spice it up with all my stories so that it's not, a boring lecture.
Talking about ordinary people and ordinary audience, how would you explain to a mother, for example, what is alpha channel?
Oh, an alpha channel. Well, the alpha channel, again, was one of those things we did without even hardly thinking about it. We just needed it, so we did it. One day Ed and I Ed was rendering. He was trying to come up with a new hidden surface algorithm for what would be animated characters, and he kept rendering the same picture over the same background, but he would render it was taking forever. And he said, "Gee, it would sure be nice if I could just somehow render this thing over the background without having to generate the background again every time." And I said, "Oh, that's easy. We'll just put a fourth channel in, and you'll just stick this alpha value in there, and then we can just composite your foreground element to the background element." It wasn't any harder than that, and it was done overnight. And I wrote up a manual page for it, and I called it the alpha channel because the formula we used was alpha A plus 1 minus alpha B. This is a very common linear interpolation formula that uses alpha. So that's it. That's all there is to it. It was just something we had to do. We did it, and we moved on. I don't know whether I explained that to the ordinary person. Probably not with that, but I'm assuming you're a little more than ordinary. Okay.
Okay. So I also read that Pixar name came from an invented Spanish guy.
Oh yeah, it's a fake Spanish verb.
Yeah.
Sorry. I grew up in New Mexico, I explained to you, so I was surrounded by Spanish, and I love Spanish. And the project I was head of, the computer graphics project at Lucasfilm, before Pixar, used lasers. And I love this word laser, because it's a noun, but it looks like a Spanish verb, right? And so we needed a name for the machine we were building. And I put several of my guys together, and I said, let's come up with a name for this machine that is like laser. It's like a Spanish verb, but it's a noun. And I suggested Pixar, P-I-X-E-R, to make pictures, fake. And Lauren Carpenter, one of my colleagues, says, you know, Alvy, the word radar is really more high-techy sounding because it ends with A-R. And I said, well, that's a Spanish verb ending too, Pixar. That was it. That was the name of the machine. And then when we needed a name for the company later, we were famous for not ever being able to decide on a name. We were very collegiate, and people had to come to a agreement. It wasn't, we didn't, Ed or I didn't just say it will be such and such. We took consensus views of everything. We could never get two people to agree on a name. So finally, I had to have a name for this new company, and I said, why don't we use the name for the company that's the name of the machine that everybody already associates with us? And everybody went, oh, okay, and they were angry about it and reluctant, but something had to happen, and that was it. So it happened to be a pretty good choice.
And just for final question, what did you expect from the following years in animation fields?
What do I expect from the ones that are coming?
Yeah.
Oh, I expect a lot. Several things I expect. I expect to see the end of aliasing in video games. It really annoys me that they're still aliasing after spending my whole career getting rid of it. These video games are just full of it. So I want to see that go away, and I know it's a problem of horsepower. They just need more computing power. Well, that's going to happen. So I want to see the end of aliasing. I want to see the first complete live-action film. I mean, actually, we've already had it, but it's not commonplace, and it's not complete yet. I'm going to talk a bit more about that tonight. But I think we're still not there. Human beings are very hard.
So thank you very much, and that's all.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, one final question, sorry, about Mundos Digitales. We are usually ask everybody about your impression of this festival and your opinion of the festival.
Well, I must admit that I didn't know about it until this year. And I'm here. I didn't know about Coruña. I'm here. I'm blown away by it. The conference seems first rate. The town is beautiful and exciting, and I met with the mayor yesterday, so I understand that it's of interest to this area to make it a filmmaking center of Spain, if not Europe, and I don't see why that shouldn't happen. It seems like it's already underway.
Yes, actually in Galicia we have different animation film companies, and Spanish film productions are also very focused on animation, so animation is an important field here. So just all, thank you very much.
Okay, quite welcome, thanks.